Relax and let this warm tale bring you calm and comfort. Salvia and Vinka, a tale of eternal hope. This story is about a girl named Salvia, who discovers hope through a magical encounter with a phoenix named Vinka. In a small, secluded village surrounded by lush forests, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Salvia. Her dark hair cascaded like a waterfall over her shoulders, and her warm eyes sparkled with the light of 1,000 dreams. Salvia's days were spent helping the villagers with their daily chores, yet her heart yearned for something more. She longed for an adventure that would stir her soul. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky transformed into a canvas of pastel purples and golds, Salvia took a walk to her favorite spot, the edge of the forest, where the ancient oak tree stood tall and proud. It was here that she often came to think, to dream, and to hope. As she sat down by the tree, she noticed an unusually bright light flickering in the distance. Curiosity piqued. She rose and followed the light deeper into the forest. The light led her to a clearing where a magnificent phoenix sat perched on a stone. Its feathers shimmered like embers glowing with hues of red and gold, casting a warm glow in the twilight. "Who are you?" then Salvia asked, her voice a mix of awe and wonder. The phoenix turned its face to her, and its eyes like molten gold seemed to look into her very soul. "I am Vinka, guardian of hope," the phoenix replied, its voice as soothing as a gentle breeze. "Why have you come here, Vinka?" Vinka continued. Salvia hesitated, then poured out her heart, sharing her dreams and fears. She spoke of her longing for purpose and for a sign that there was more to life than the daily routine. The phoenix listened patiently, its presence calming her anxious heart. When she finished, Vinka spoke again. "Hope is the flame that never dies, even in the darkest times," Vinka said softly. "You have the power to keep that flame alive, not just for yourself, but for others as well." The phoenix then spread its wings, creating a brilliant display of light. "Fetch this feather sat," Vinka said, offering one of its glowing plumes to Salvia. "It will remind you that hope is always within reach." With tears in her eyes, Salvia accepted the precious gift. As she held the feather close, she felt a renewed sense of purpose wash over her. She thanked Vinka and promised to spread hope and kindness wherever she went. Vinka nodded, then soared into the sky, leaving behind a trail of radiant light. Salvia returned to her village, her heart lighter and her spirit uplifted. Every day, she carried Vinka's feather with her, sharing its light with anyone who needed it. Over time, the village recognized her as a beacon of hope, and people came to her not just for help, but for the inspiration and encouragement she effortlessly provided. And so, in the heart of the forest, by the ancient oak tree, the legend of Salvia and Vinka live on, a timeless reminder that even in the darkest moments, hope persists and has the power to transform lives. The next story awaits, calm and kind. Kala and Amaryllis, the celebration of friendship. This story is about a girl named Kala and a hedgehog named Amaryllis, who form a deep friendship and celebrate the winter solstice with their village. On a quaint little village named Whispering Pines, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Kala. Kala had a penchant for exploring the woods and often brought home injured animals to nurse back to health. One such autumn morning, she found a tiny hedgehog shivering under a pile of golden leaves. She decided to name the hedgehog Amaryllis. Kala's gentle hands carefully carried Amaryllis back home, and with love and care, helped him recover from the chill. Amaryllis and Kala formed an unbreakable bond over the days, sharing many cozy nights by the fireplace and stories of the woods. As the first snowflakes of winter began to fall, the villagers planned a grand celebration to welcome the winter solstice. Hoa and Amaryllis were chosen to light the ceremonial bonfire. The day of the celebration was filled with joyous laughter and the scent of pine needles. The village square was adorned with twinkling lights and colorful lanterns. When the time came to light the bonfire, Kala gently carried Amaryllis to the center of the square. They both felt a warmth in their hearts, brighter than the fire they were about to ignite. As the flames danced and crackled, the villagers gathered around, singing songs of joy and hope. The Mallows even gave a little dance, much to the delight of the children. The night sky was filled with stars, each one twinkling like a tiny promise of happiness. They all looked at Amaryllis and knew that their friendship was the greatest gift of all. The celebration became a beautiful memory, etched in the hearts of everyone present. From that day on, each winter solstice, the villagers would remember the heartwarming story of Kala and Amaryllis, and their enduring friendship that brought the village closer together. Another soothing tale is ready to be told. The Honor, Geranium and Sedge. This story is about the bond and trust between a woman named Geranium and a crow named Sedge, who together demonstrate the true meaning of honor. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nested between green hills and shimmering rivers, lived a young woman named Geranium. She was known not just for her beauty, but the kindness she extended to every living creature. Her days were spent tending to her garden, where an array of colorful flowers bloomed under her careful gaze. One peaceful afternoon, as Geranium hummed a tune, a loud call interrupted her tranquility. It was Sedge, a crow with gleaming black feathers and sharp, intelligent eyes. Though many in the village shunned crows as bearers of bad luck, Geranium saw something special in Sedge. She offered him a perch near her window and fed him seeds every day. Over time, an unspoken bond formed between them. He communicated through gestures, with Sedge bringing her small trinkets he found in the fields. One day, a storm ravaged the village, causing destruction and chaos. People worked tirelessly to rebuild their homes. Geranium gathered food and offered shelter to those in need. But one evening, tragedy struck. The village pride statue, a symbol of their heritage, went missing. Fingers were pointy and suspicion hung heavily in the air. Would someone accuse Geranium of hiding the statue for her own gain? Hurt by the baseless accusations, Geranium decided to find the truth. Sedge, sensing her distress, flew into the deafening sky. For nights on end, while Geranium searched the village, Sedge scoured the nearby forests and hills. Finally, one moonlight night, Sedge returned with something clutched in his beak, a piece of the statue. Geranium understood immediately. She followed Sedge to an old oak tree, where they found the statue, hidden by a mischievous raccoon. The villagers were astounded when Geranium, with Sedge by her side, presented the statue. The truth about Geranium's honor shone through their eyes as they apologized for their mistrust. From that day on, Geranium and Sedge were celebrated as heroes. Their story was told to every child in the village, a tale of trust, loyalty, and honor. They continued to live peacefully, their bond unbroken, a reminder that honor and kindness always prevail. The next story is ready to soothe your spirit. Poppy and Flux, The Joyful Journey. This story is about a girl named Poppy and an elf named Flux who spread joy and revival with their tree, teaching that even small acts of happiness can make a big difference. Once upon a time, in a village surrounded by enchanting forests and sparkling streams, lived a kind-hearted girl named Poppy. Poppy's days were filled with laughter and sunshine, and she had a spirit that could brighten even the gloomiest of days. One sunny afternoon, while picking wildflowers in the meadows beyond the village, Poppy stumbled upon a tiny elf named Phlox. Phlox had emerald green eyes that sparkled like the stars and wings that shimmered with the colors of the rainbow. He had been watching Poppy for days, mesmerized by her joyous spirit. Phlox cautiously approached Poppy, and she greeted him with a warm smile. "I've never seen such a beautiful creature," exclaimed Poppy. Phlox blushed and introduced himself. He explained that he was an elf of joy, dedicated to spreading happiness to all he encountered. From that moment, Poppy and Phlox became the best of friends. They spent their days exploring the magical forest together, discovering hidden glades and making friends with the woodland creatures. Poppy loved listening to Phlox's enchanting tales of the elf kingdom, and Phlox adored Poppy's laughter. One day, they stumbled upon a withered tree in the heart of the forest. The tree looked sad, its branches drooping and leaves falling. Poppy felt a pang of sadness and turned to Phlox. "Can we help it?" she asked. Phlox nodded confidently. "Yes, we can." Sometimes, all it takes is a little joy. Poppy and Phlox joined hands and danced round the tree, singing songs and sharing stories of happiness. As they danced, the tree began to revive, its branches lifting and new leaves sprouting. By the end of their joyful dance, the tree was lush and green once again. The surrounding forest seemed to glow with newfound energy, and all the woodland creatures gathered to celebrate. Buffy and Phlox continued their joyful journey, bringing smiles and laughter wherever they went. They learned that joy, no matter how small, can make a tremendous difference in the world. Their friendship was a testament to the magic that can happen when hearts are open to happiness. As the stars twinkled in the night sky, Poppy and Phlox would often sit by the sparkling stream, sharing their dreams and hopes. They knew that as long as they had each other, their world would always be bright with joy. And so, in that enchanted village, the heartwarming tale of Poppy and Phlox lived on, inspiring generations to come with their boundless joy and unbreakable friendship. Close your eyes, sleep well, and good night.